Dan Hughes, the Sales Director at ClickSend. In this series of videos, we're going to look at the basics from creating a ClickSend account all the way through to sending out your first campaign. So the first thing we want to do is head to clicksend.com, click on sign up in the top right corner. This will take us through to a quick form to fill in, which will then send us an OTP code. Perfect. Now that form's filled in, I can click on start sending. And this will then take me through to the next step where it's going to text me a code and I'll input that here. So very shortly, I'll receive a text on my handset. And there it is. Perfect. So the next thing ClickSend's interested in is what are you looking to send? This is so we can send you helpful advice, teach you around compliance for those different products. So I'm going to start off by ticking the SMS section and then click on next. And then it simply says what countries am I sending to. So at present, I'm based in the UK, so it's defaulted to the UK, but I can select I'm sending to other countries. And here it gives me a list of all the countries that I can possibly send to. And I can simply enable them by ticking or unticking any country. So I'm going to search at the top here for the United States of America, and then also I'm going to search for Australia. So these are my 3 countries. I can click on save. What this then does is it shares me the rules and requirements for sending to each country. So the rules in Australia, what type of messaging is allowed and what isn't. The same for the UK, the same for the US and Canada. And then just tick this box to say I agree. I click on next to move forward to the next step. Perfect. Once that's all done, I'm then into my ClickSend account. So here's where the fun starts. So the first thing I want to do personally is rent a number. You'll see that I have £2 worth of free credit. So on the left-hand side here, under the sender IDs section, I can click on buy a number. It presents all of the numbers available for my default country, being the UK. So I would simply click on buy a number there, or I can change the country here to, for example, the United States of America. And then I can click on buy a number. Now this amount here is pro-rated. So if I buy it halfway through the month, I'm only going to bill for half of that cost. Clicking on buy will then allow me to confirm and purchase, and this number is then going to be available for me to text. Different countries have different rules, so you'll see immediately for the US, it's telling me to register now. In this video, I'm not going to do that. We'll talk around that in another video, but I'm now going to move forwards. So the other thing I can register is something called an alpha tag. So again, different countries have different rules, but for an alpha tag, I can register a business name or a sender ID that appears on the person's handset when they receive the text. So clicking add at the very top there, my alpha tag is going to be DH Media 1. My use case, it's my company name or it's a personal name, whatever it may be. I'm just going to put company name here and register alpha tag. Now what will happen is the ClickSend support team will vet that to make sure the alpha tag is genuine, and then you'll see the status change from pending to approved. Approval only takes a handful of minutes. Going back to the main dashboard now, we're then going to talk through the left-hand side. So starting off, what you can see is an overview of how many messages I've sent in the last 30 days, how many I've received, and how many voice calls I've sent. This will plot itself on a graph for us. First thing I want to do is click on contacts on the left-hand side. So we've already got an example list which contains me as an individual because I created the ClickSend account. I'm going to click this blue plus button up here, name the contact list whatever I want it to be. So this is going to be called test list, and then add. You'll then see test list has appeared currently with 0 contacts in it. I just want to click on that list, and this will put a blue box around it which tells me that's the list I'm interacting with. Clicking on this blue person here, I can either add contacts manually, but obviously if you've got a load of contacts, that's going to take time. I can import contacts from an Excel or a CSV file. So clicking on this blue box here, I can then jump to my demo file, which I've got. And it's just a CSV file I'm bringing in. And you'll then see CSV is ready, click on import. Now what ClickSend will look to do is it will look to match the data within the spreadsheet. So for example, in my CSV file, I've got a column called phone. I can bring that in and match that within ClickSend to phone, first name to first name. Let's say it was important that I bring something else in. So let's say custom one. We'll talk through custom strings in a second. I can then map that to that specific area. Last name, it's important that comes in as well. Click on last name. Once I'm happy, I can confirm that data, and that's going to then import that contact list for me, as you'll see just here. So speaking around the data we've brought in the first name of the individual, and this allowed us to do placeholder mapping. So we can say, hi, John, hi, Mary, hi, Dan, for example. We've obviously got the individual's phone number, so we know where we are sending the message to. And we've got this custom string that I brought in. So custom string is a bespoke piece of data. It could be an account number. It could be a percentage off of the sale, whatever it may be. And you'll be able to pull that information into a text as well. I'll cover that a little bit more when we do send out the text. Now, what you will notice is I've intentionally got Mary Brown in here twice and John Smith in here twice. What ClickSend has is a handy cleanup function in the top right corner here, where I can then remove opted outs or remove duplicates. So I'm going to remove the duplicates, check the duplicates based on the phone number, click on remove, and that's then going to tidy up my contact list to be really accurate and with the right people within it. So the next step is I'm going to jump it back into my managed senders and just see the status of this one here. And you'll see DH Media 1 is now ready to use. So our support team have approved that and approved the use case for it. So SMS on the left-hand side now. So if I jump back to the dashboard, just using this left-hand panel, I can click on SMS. And I've got a few options here. I can send a quick SMS. This is a single message from myself to a single individual or a handful of individuals. Or I can do a campaign, which is more where I'm sending to the masses, and I can use some of that personalization feature. So we're going to jump into the campaign section. So it's giving me this blue button to add my first campaign. So I'm going to click here. It's then going to let me name my campaign. So ClickSend's got a really logical workthrough, just starting top to bottom. This is just going to be called test, and this is Feb. Okay. Who's it going to? So again, it shows my contact lists, my example list with just me in it, the test list that I just created. So that's the one I'm going to use here. And where's it coming from? So because we registered the alpha tag DH Media 1, that is an available sender ID. That American dedicated number we registered, we didn't fully complete the registration process. That number is not ready to use. So in this instance, I'm going to use DH Media 1. From here, I can click on message and I can start typing my message. So I can go, hi, placeholder first name. This is a test. Your dog's name is, and then I can use the placeholders again. I'm going to use custom one this time. And this is going to bring in a custom name. So you can see here over in the top right corner, hi Dan, this is a test. Your dog's name is Loki. So it's pulled in that Loki field from the CSV file we imported. Now with text messaging, there's a few key elements to it. The first one is, ideally, you want to avoid using long, ugly URLs. The reason being is carriers don't really like them. And secondly, they use up a chunk of your characters. So you'll see just here, I'm using approximately 112 characters, which counts as one text per person. Now, if I remove that URL, you'll see I'm then down to 63 characters. So instead, what I can look to do is use ClickSend's short URL function. This is where we paste in the long URL that we were using, maybe directly to a website or a product. Click on add, and you'll see it then condenses it down to something much smaller and much tidier. Again, the benefit is it's less characters, and B, the carriers prefer it, so your message will have a higher chance of deliverability. Where you see these X's, myself, if I were to receive this text, I would maybe see /ABC123. John would receive FJG45. So it will still take us both to that same location, but it won't be that long URL, and it's personalized. So we're able to kind of track who clicked on it and who interacted with it. So the final thing, if you're sending a marketing message, so here's a sale, here's a new product, for example, you need to offer an unsubscribe link. And that unsubscribe link simply just appears like so. If you're sending engineer appointment reminders or your delivery is on its way, you don't need to offer an unsubscribe link. And the reason behind that is marketing messages, that's where you're offering a service. Transactional messages like an OTP code or a delivery update is initiated from the customer's side. The final step here is I can either send this now, or I can click on this clock and schedule it for a certain date and time. In this instance, I'm going to send that message now. And then you'll see all the information, click on send, and then that campaign is then in the queue to be delivered. Perfect. So the text has just come through on my phone now. Hi, Dan, this is a test. Your dog's name is Loki, with that short URL and with that stop message link. Now on my handset, I'm going to click on that URL so we can see what happens from a ClickSend point of view. So I've clicked that URL. If I refresh this campaign now, you will see that it now shows that it was sent. I can click on it. It will show me what type of message I sent out, including those placeholders, as well as which country it was sent to, what browser it was opened on, and who opened it in particular. So I'm just going to minimize our little help guide there. And you'll see here, Dan Hughes clicked the link on this date, on this time, using a mobile phone that was Android using Chrome. So that's how I kind of look at the data behind it. Now, what if I want to retarget those that didn't click on the link? It's been a week or so, Mary and John haven't engaged. I can simply change the link clicked to no. Then I can export that data and bring it in, as we did a second ago, to then send them a more targeted campaign, or maybe with a better level of promotional discount, for example. So off the back of that, if we're sending the same messages regularly, one thing we can do is create templates. So if I select the template section here, you'll see I can click to add my first template. This is going to be called test one. Type in whatever the message will be. So hi, use my placeholders again, or merge tags, first name. This is a test. Let's add that one. So now for a future campaign, I can simply go back into the campaign section, create a new campaign, jump down to my message itself and select my template and bring in test one. So again, it's going to bring in that data there. And once I add my contacts in, you will then see the bespoke data appear. Working our way further down, we've then got the history. So history is where it shows you all of the messages you've sent, and you can look at the status of those messages as well. So if I click on Dan Hughes, you'll see I can click on this I over on the right-hand side. I can see the message was delivered to the handset. I'm on Orange as a network, what country it was delivered to, and what the message physically was. Now, going a step further, what we will do is I'm going to add some additional credit to my account behind the scenes super quickly. Let's just add that one on. So then if I refresh this screen, we will then see my balance has now gone up to £7.62. So in the top right corner here is my balance, £7.62. When you're sending using an alpha tag, people are unable to reply. So if you send as a business name, users cannot respond back to you. It physically won't let them. So what you can do is you can rent numbers. Now, we touched on this briefly earlier with America, but we're going to click buy a number now. I'm going to buy a UK number so I can send a message back and forth, and we can see how that works. So very easy. Once again, click on buy. It gives me the information. Click on purchase. Now, again, different countries have different rules. So in the UK, that number's ready to go. I could now send out a 20,000 SMS campaign. In America, I still need to register that number to be able to send to America. So all I'm going to do this time, head to SMS. I'm just going to send a quick SMS because I'm just going to text myself. So again, I can use my contact list. I'm just going to use my example list this time. Where's it coming from? So this isn't going to come from my alpha tag because the user wouldn't be able to respond back. It's going to come from that dedicated number that I've just purchased. And then I'm just going to type in, hi Dan, this is a test to show two-way messaging. And again, I can schedule it now or later, preview and confirm, and I'm going to send that message out. Now, once that message comes into my handset, as it just has, I can reply back and just say, nice work, Dan, send. So where do replies go? So on the left-hand side, once again, under that SMS section, we've got Messenger. So Messenger is what supports that two-way communication between yourself and your customers. So it's got the name of myself in there because I'm already added as a contact. So clicking on that, you'll then see, hi Dan, this is a test show of two-way messaging. The response from my mobile phone, nice work Dan. And I can reply back and forth here, no worries. If you need anything, just shout. Equally, I can use templates. So again, go back to those templates we created earlier. I can use placeholders or I can use emojis. So if I want to send that message, click on that little aeroplane and I'll send that one off. Now, because that conversation's finished with that customer, maybe it's the end of the conversation, their case is closed, they've said, yeah, I've gone ahead and bought, something like that, I can close that conversation down. Now, what that means is it keeps my Messenger inbox really quiet, and you see it's grey this one out there. What I can do is I can click on status and tell it to show me just those open conversations. So only show me any conversations where I haven't closed them off. Maybe it's because the customer's not replied yet or we're still waiting. Now, if my customer were to reply back again, let's just go back into here and click on send. When I come back to ClickSend and I maybe refresh this, what we will see is that conversation has reopened because the customer has initiated a contact back in again to the ClickSend platform. You'll see there you go, it's back in that open section and it's back bold again because the customer has responded back to me. So that's the SMS side of things. What we've then got is we've got different parts of our product set, which we will take you through in other videos, such as picture messaging, voice calls, transactional emails for invoices or receipts, even fax and post as well. So post is where you have to send out physical letters or postcards to your customers. The final bit we're going to take you through in this video is how to create additional users, and then we're going to look at the balance of your account. So let's say I've got multiple colleagues that I work with and I want them all to have access to ClickSend. Click in the top right corner here and go to the account settings. This is where I add sub-accounts. So let's say I've got a finance contact called Barbara. I'm going to add a sub-account for Barbara. And Barbara's last name is Smith. What username do I want Barbara to have? So often it's an email address, but it can be whatever you want. So barbs@clicksend.com is her email address. The password for Barbara, I'm just going to make one up now. What email address has Barbara got? Let's use barbs@clicksend again. What's the mobile phone number of Barbara? Let's just pop that one in. And here's where I can customize the settings for Barbara. So do I want Barbara to add extra users to the platform? No, Barbara's not an admin. She's doing the financial side. So I want Barbara to access billing and reporting, not the settings. I don't want her to be able to do anything within the actual product itself. So no sending out messages or anything like that, just to top up the account. Once I add Barbara, she will then appear as a secondary user on the platform and be able to sign in herself. What each user has is their own API key, as you can see it here. This API key can be copied and pasted into API documentation, maybe an API you're building to integrate ClickSend into your own platform. So nice and easy to use from that side. The final bit we're going to take you through is the balance. So clicking on balance at the very top here, you'll see my balance is £6.93 because I've sent a couple of texts. And you'll see it's currently on the top up account level. And it's saying which country am I sending to. So I'm sending to the UK. And you'll see here, for example, if I were to top up £10, that would let me send out 324 text messages at a cost of 3.08 pence per text. So we're talking fractions of pence in our world. What you'll see is the more you top up with ClickSend, the cheaper the platform becomes. So topping up £10 was 3.08 pence. On the right-hand side here, topping up £300 is 2.92 pence. So it becomes cheaper per text the more you top up. You can also jump to the dizzy heights of topping up £4,000 for 2.46 pence per message, so a lot cheaper. And we do offer bespoke rates for larger top-ups or larger repeat business from customers. Now, what if I'm sending to a different country? Let's look at the United States. So I can click where it says sending to the UK, change this to the United States. Click here, and here's where it shows different pricing once again, because every country has different rates. Now again, the more you top up, the cheaper it becomes. Now ClickSend supports a couple of different top-up methods. We can top up via a credit or debit card, or via a prepayment invoice, or an account plan, which we call postpaid, where we invoice you at the end of the month for your usage for users that spend over $1,000 a month. So we've got the top-up account. We've then got managed credit cards. This is where you go in and add the company card on that you want to be charged, and then it would use that card automatically. We've then got transactions. Here's where I'd be able to download any invoices I've got from ClickSend with top-up amount, what date, and be able to download that as a PDF. Then I've got a usage report. So this shows me how many messages I've used and what the cost is during that time. So you can see at the minute, it shows SMS from Dan's account, 4 messages, just over 12 pence. But if Barbara or Bob or whoever it may be also used ClickSend, it would show their usernames under here as well, so you can monitor who's using what within the platform. Equally, it will show the other products ClickSend offers, such as post, fax, email, will be listed here as well. The final thing, under the General tab, I can go in and update the billing contact details, so change who is the billing contact within the organization. And I can also do balance management. So this is where we can say to ClickSend, automatically top up my account when my balance goes below a certain amount. So I'm going to turn that on. So when my balance goes below £1, I want to automatically top up my ClickSend account with a balance of £100. That will then automatically charge that card. Now, I don't want to do that just in case, so I'm going to turn that off. And then what it'll do is it will send me an email or a text when my balance goes below £1. And I'm going to save that one instead. So obviously then it's just worth noting that if you've got messages going out automatically or other users using the platform, you need to be in charge of logging in and topping up, but we will send you that friendly reminder. The final piece, in the very bottom right-hand corner here, we've got this little blue button, which is a live chat to our support team who are 24/7, 365. You're able to interact with them, ask them questions, and they'll be on hand to support. It also gives you a status update of the ClickSend platform. Is anything not working as it should? We'll post that there. We're really transparent with any issues that we may experience, but we'll also share updates in terms of when we're expecting a fix, and you can always chat to our live team for more information. Any questions, just reach out to the team. We're more than happy to help. And remember, just click send.
ClickSend is business communications solved